Employers have actually lost their minds in 2023. I have a decade of experience as a fine dining bartender and server. A nursing home posted an ad for fine dining servers. The job entails waiting tables at a public restaurant within a memory care facility. It pays $18 an hour and does not allow tips. The industry typically pays $4,050 an hour including tips in my area. However, the nursing home offers benefits and is in a very convenient location. There is also room to move up in the company. At the interview, the manager explained how desperate they've been to find qualified employees and were excited to get my resume. He told me how exhausted he is because he is working 50 hours a week because he has no support. I explained that I can work all holidays. They are open 365 days a year. The trade-off was my wife and I have a 3-week trip planned in January. Typically the slowest time of year here. The interview went great, and he basically wanted to hire me on the spot. I just needed to make an account on their website and fill out an application. When reading the fine print, it indicated that they require 10 hours of training courses unpaid, which is a topic for another time. Upper management decided not to hire me because I wanted 3 weeks off. I mean, come on. Read the room, you dolts. You pay half or less of the going rate for the job and are working your manager to death. When will corporations wake up and figure out the world has changed? I'm not giving a nursing home my entire soul for $18 an hour. It's insane. It's insane. I had a month of vacation time before COVID. People got laid off, but we had more business than ever, resulting in being short staff and freeze on PTO. Well, I was coming up on the reset for PTO. Did not carry over. And asked if I can't take the time, can I at least get paid out for it, and was told it was against company policy. But you know what was company policy? If you resign and work out your 2-week notice, the company pays you out for your PTO. They won't wake up. Capitalism has mutated into its final form that sucks dry resources. That's literally all we are. And moves on to the next one. It leaves nothing in its wake but empty shells. If the guy who interviewed you did indeed drop dead on the floor, they would have the job listing out before his obituary. The system is breaking down because it's been stressed beyond its sustainable limits for decades. There is nothing new left to exploit, so everything existing has to be exploited harder. And it's only going to get worse. Working the manager 50 hours a week is basically free for them. Years ago I was working as a support worker. 24/7 care to adults with intellectual disabilities. They had a rotating staff and were very desperate to keep people on. It was essential because the ones we cared for took a while to get used to the staff. It caused so much stress and anxiety when new ones came on. You needed older staff, ones with experience working with that individual, not just in the job field. I gave them notice and said I would be gone for 2 weeks next Jan. 89 months notice. I was told, it's too early to book that off, you need to ask in January. Which isn't realistic. Can't book a trip a week or 2 prior when you have kids. No one does that. I just put in my vacation notice then and left it alone because it was a min-wage job and every agency in the city was desperate for people. In the end they ended up giving it to me, but I wasn't asking much and that attitude was horrible. When you're desperate for experienced staff. I've got news for you. They lost their minds decades ago. You're just noticing. A corporation offered me $16 an hour to become a full-time remote employee with benefits. When I currently make between $27 to $39 an hour as a private contractor without benefits. I said I would accept the offer if they allowed me to live in Mexico or in Colombia. And I offered to pay out of my own pocket for high-speed internet and a private server. They said no, so then I said no. It turns out that they pay people in Mexico less than $5 an hour for the same job. Corporations are desperate to turn the U.S. into a healthcare slave colony with the full support and backing of our elected officials. They won't hire you but have an excuse to keep exploiting the guy working 50 hours a week. They are making it look to him like they are trying to hire, but they're really not. Everything is going according to plan. They don't have to spend on another employee's income and benefits. For months my coworker and I have been telling management that we need more pay, and we are struggling. My coworker told them he has a very short time frame to get things sorted out. He can't find a place to live because rent is so astronomical in our area. We make $60,000 a year. And we can't afford an apartment in our city. Now they kept saying, raises are coming soon, we are working on it. So we wait. And we keep telling them we are struggling and need more money. Fast forward to today. My coworker ran out of time and he has to move and can't find anything here he can afford. His wife found a job out of state and he got a job offer today. The apartment he is getting? Literally $1,000 less a month than we can find here for the same quality. Did he take a pay cut? Nope. I went to my manager to express my concern about my situation because his and mine are very similar. Financially, my renewal is coming up, and if they raise my rent I cannot afford to live here anymore. I don't know what they're going to do. I'm going to try and get them to at least keep it the same for a year. So I went to my manager and asked, I need to know what this raise looks like. She tells me, they sent out an email about 3%. I said, I'm sorry. That's nothing. That literally doesn't help me. I was under the impression we were getting a new position. We were told we would become leads because our skill set is so high. She told me, yeah, we made your position the lead. And I asked, wait, so we aren't getting a new position with a bump in pay? Quote. She said no. I emailed the assistant dean, who I was told is responsible for budget and pay, saying I need to meet with her over salary and cost of living concerns. I'll see how it goes. I've had to fight every single year for over a decade just to get my 2 weeks of paid time off. Food industry. Guaranteed the person making the decision has way more than 3 weeks vacca. I just read a post on our recruiting hell by someone with a more or less similar experience until he changed his LinkedIn profile to indicate that Europe was an option for him. He got snapped up within a day or two and discovered to his surprise that his new employers actually seemed to think he was human. No, you adapt to US and our entrenched ideology. Every employer desperate for qualified employees because they don't want to pay. When reading the fine print, it indicated that they require 10 hours of training courses unpaid, which is a topic for another time. In the US, if it's required, it's paid. Period. Nursing home. That's all the explanation you need. Late-stage capitalism is an evil monster. It's not how capitalism works. They don't wake up. They just go out of business. Problem is, some bootlicker's gonna take that job eventually. January is way more than enough notice. Especially if the pay is that low. We recently switched from a yearly vacation payout, no PTO, but if you work enough hours you earn a bonus of about a week's pay at the end of the fiscal year, to actual PTO days based on hours worked in the year. We all assumed based on contract language that the new PTO kicked in when the new contract was signed. I asked for and was approved to take a week of PTO. But I didn't find out until my first paycheck after getting back from vacation that I don't. actually have PTO until January. Management's position is that because we already got the payout for last fiscal year, the new PTO didn't take effect yet. Honestly, I managed to squeak by on half a paycheck. That wasn't my problem. I just wish someone had told me before I left.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.